All right, welcome back to Beyond the Stride. I'm your interviewer, Isaac Basten, and I'm here with Kimberley May today, who is a 427 miler, a 204 800 runner, and an 854 3K athlete. She just finished third place in the mile at these indoor championships, and she was also second team All-American this last outdoor season. So, Kimberley, thank you so much for coming on and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, yeah, let's get into it right away. You were a high school grad from 2021 in New Zealand. You ran 429 in the 1500, not the mile. And being an international, I'm sure coming and competing in America has its adjustments. So tell me, what was your welcome to the NCAA moment?
Yeah, it was crazy. I think coming from New Zealand, especially the races were tiny. You hardly raced. And our nationals were I had just run New Zealand nationals before I came cross country, and I came sixth, but there was 8 people in the race. It's nothing like here. But I would say my welcome to NCAAs was my first cross country race was Nuttycombe. I ran our home meet and then I think Battle of Beantown, but then we went to Nuttycombe and it was crazy.
Oh, I've never run a race at Nuttycombe myself, but yeah, I've watched the live stream a million times, and yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous. Cross country in general here is absolutely ridiculous. But I kind of want to get into some of these early meets in your career because you were kind of just launched into the thick of things. A lot of freshmen take it slow, redshirt their first year, kind of get into the big meets at a slower pace. But as a freshman, you raced at Nuttycombe, like you just said, NCAA Cross, BU Valentine, and Big East as well. So I kind of want to focus this early part of the podcast on your growth. How did you learn from some of these high pressure moments early on in your career and use those experiences to make you the elite athlete that you are today?
Yeah, I've learned so much from them. I just think every race, you learn something new. And I think being put in those races, it was actually a kind of a good thing because I just was so unaware. I was so naive to the sport. I didn't even know at Nuttycombe. I don't know what I came my freshman year. It was 100 something. And I honestly think I was probably happier than most people. That was my proudest moment. I thought I had run so good. But I just took every race as learning. And I think just having my older teammates was so helpful because they'd all been there before. And I just took inspiration off them. And I think my freshman year, we came 8th as a team and 3 of my teammates came in the top 30. So I was oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Speaking of learning from your teammates, is there anything specific that you can mention that you learned from some of the girls that are probably, I don't know, probably gone now, but things that just little things about maybe it's training or lifestyle that you've picked up on since being at Providence?
Oh, there's so much. I think just having fun, I think just being having fun with each other. I think running as it is stressful enough. It doesn't have to be I think just us by having fun together, it just makes, we don't have to think about the race or when we go on a trip, we're focused on the race, but then we also just have each other to make it less stressful. Because if it was just running for me, I would it would be way too stressful.
Completely. Yeah. I always get super anxious before meets and I have to put myself in a position where it's hey, just calm down. It's just a race. But looking at your results, it looks like you made small improvements each year, slowly improving your personal bests. Even though you're a miler, I think this is shown the most blatantly through your cross country results, improving your place at nationals from 213th to 138th to 116th this year. As a miler, I find this pretty impressive because I've always floated around the 213th. I've never had the big jumps that you've had, really. So kind of a question about this, and not just about cross country. This is about track and everything as well. But what do you credit your consistent improvement to? Is there changes that you've had to make in your life to accomplish these jumps, or is it just kind of a product of consistency?
I think just obviously consistent. I just do whatever whatever my coach Ray says. So I think obviously him and his coaching, but I think I definitely made a change, my mindset after my freshman year. I think it was just a big change to come to America. Obviously, everything had changed. I was really overwhelmed, and running was just running to me. I didn't think much of it. And then I watched my teammate Shannon She won regionals for 1500, then she went to nationals, and she came seventh. And I just think just watching that, and I was like, this is somebody I train with every day. That's like my dream. And I think just seeing that kind of woke me up a little, and it really just made me want to push. So then I stayed for the summer for cross country, and then just wanted to try and do the best I could.
Yeah, cool. I had a very similar experience with my teammate Adam Fogg, who's now running pro. But yeah, you see someone on the big stage have that success, and it really does motivate you. But
Yeah.
I kind of want to get into your breakout now, which in my opinion was rally relays in 2023. You ran the 1500 and you improved your PB from 423 to 413, which I guess on paper it is only 10 seconds, but when you're a miler, 10 seconds is a significant jump, especially when you're a miler who's having a lot of success. You would place sixth place there, losing to winner Margot Appleton, who's like a 1 million time All American. I have no idea, but she's always in the title picture. So take take us through the emotions going into this race, and then like a little bit about your mindset after. Like, was there a shift in like the career goals mentality wise after this, or like, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I always say it's that I'm literally going to Raleigh tomorrow, and I find it great. Like, I was literally thinking this, but like, my mentality from like that race to this race, it's just so crazy how like much things can change in a year. But that race, I always say I wish I could go back to, in the sense I was so naive. Like, I didn't care who was in that race. I was like, I had so much confidence for, I don't even know what. Like, I knew my training was going well, so I just wanted to like try. And I was so happy. Like, I think that was after that race, I was the happiest I've ever been. And yeah, so I don't know. I just was, the only thing I can really remember was just I was just so happy.
All right, let's play a little game here. Fast forward 1 year to today. What?
Okay.
How are you preparing differently than how you prepared the first time?
Honestly, well, I'm not really changed. I think I just have so much more experience. Like, I'm a bit less. Well, I honestly wasn't that nervous last year, because I was just like, I get this, like, it is what it is. But I think I just want to go and run today. Like, I feel like last year I was like a little kid, like excited to like, but I feel like this time I just want to try get a time, just put it to rest, and then move on to the next race.
Exactly. That's the one bonus about outdoor too, is more people do qualify for regionals and stuff. So getting a time is in general a little bit less stressful. But anyway, let's go back to this breakout. So right after this happens, you obviously cemented your spot into regionals, which for the second time in your career, you'd already been to regionals once, but this would be the time where you weren't just getting there. You were now kind of a contender with expectations. Obviously, like, you were still only seeded 26th in the West, but top 12 make it to nationals for those who don't know watching this. But you were only off of 12th place in the East by 2 seconds. So everyone was kind of like right in that range, right? And so what was your strategy for like attacking those prelim rounds and making sure that you were going to get to nationals this time around after failing the first time?
Yeah, I think, well, there was just, even from my first time going to regionals, I was just happy to be, I like just made it in. I think I was I don't know how, I think 43 make it or something. I was the 42nd. Like, my freshman year, I was just happy to be there. So I think even just from that jump to like, I was like, okay, I really want to try make it. I think my big thing was I just listened to whatever my coach told me, and I just wanted to get through the first round. And then I was like, whatever happens the second day, it is what it is. Like, as long as I just make it to like try and get there. And then we got the heats for the second round, and I remember I was with Caitlin Tui, Maya Ramsden, Margot Appleton, and I was just like, oh my gosh, everyone. Like, I was so scared, but I was just like, just take it as an opportunity, like try run a PB and then see what happens.
Well, you heavily exceeded expectations, and you did run a PB, right? Did you tie your PB, or like just?
I don't know what it was. I think I ran around my PB.
Yeah, I think you ran the exact same time as your PB.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the decimal right now, but you punched your ticket to Texas, which is really all that matters, giving yourself your first experience at NCAAs in track and field. Take us through that feeling of experiencing nationals for the first time and walking out to that track in Texas with all those fans, and everyone there is just so good. So what were your emotions like the day of that race?
Oh, it was so surreal. It was amazing. My parents they flew from home to come watch. So it was cool. I mean, it was a lot of pressure, but I was happy they were there to experience it with me. And I had Shannon and Jane. So Jane's my roommate, and she was a freshman, so she just made it too. So it was so cool having them with me. It was scary. I think that I definitely let it get to me a little bit, but it was just my first time, so it is what it is. Like I think of it as such a good learning experience, but it was like the happiest moment ever because my dream was always to make outdoor nationals. Like I never thought that it would be a possibility. So I think when I was just there, I was like so excited.
That's awesome. It is everyone's dream to make outdoor nationals, and once you do it, it really is this amazing, fulfilling feeling that lasts for about like 1 second, right? And then it's like, all
Yeah.
right, now I got to win one of these things, and so
Well, literally, I like finished the race and I was upset. Like I cried, and I was like, all I wanted to do was get here, and now I'm crying. Like, because I think when you're there, you get to. I watched all these girls run amazing. I was like, oh wait, I want to do that. I think it just gives you more motive. Like once you get there, you just want to do more.
exactly, yeah, it's so tough, but you ended up having a great run, and to cap off a great run, you placed 14th and came away with the second team All American spot. And so kind of just looking at the big picture here, how did having that unexpected run of regionals and nationals, but still coming up short, motivate you for that break heading into this year, which is now 2023-2024 season?
I think it was such a big learning experience for me. With just it gave me motivation, but it also just showed me. I was like, I just think there's no need to get as nervous as I did. Like I just feel like it took away the experience a little bit for me because it just wasn't as fun for me. So I think that's really helped me a lot because this year I've just tried to have a lot more fun and it's been so much better for me because I actually enjoy racing now. So it's a lot better.
Well, that's definitely worked for you as you've done better in every season thus far than you did the previous year, placing higher up than you ever have in both cross and on the track, finishing second at Big East and regionals as a miler, and then you carried that momentum into track where you ran a 8:54 3K, a 2:04 800, and a 4:27 mile, where you're ranked fourth in the country headed into nationals. So you're ranked fourth in the country going into nationals. What was the goal like 2 weeks ago?
I think honestly, I just really want. I was taking each race. Like I just want to make the final, and then all I wanted was to just walk away with no regrets. I just wanted to run a clean race and just be proud of. I wasn't trying to put any expectations on myself. I just wanted to. I just told myself as long as I can walk off the track not regretting anything, then I'll be happy.
Yeah. And you raced the DMR too, correct?
Yeah.
So, kind of a little bit of a question for people that are doubling and racing a lot. You had to race 3 times at NCAAs. You raced the mile prelim, the DMR, and then the mile final. How did you manage your energy in the mile round to prep for the DMR, and then how did you manage your energy in the DMR to prep for the mile final?
Yeah, honestly, I took out my heat to be like it was. I just wanted to run a clean race. I just thought it would be better because I watched the men's race. Sorry. So yeah, sorry. But I saw that and I was like, it's so indoors is so messy. So I was like, I just want to try and make it clean. And I had Shannon with me, my teammate. So we were like, we want to get the like run moving because then we both wanted to qualify. And then so I just also sorry. We wanted to make it a steady pace because sometimes I find if it's slow and then a massive kick for the last 800, it actually takes it more out of you, I feel sometimes. So I was just like, try to keep it steady. And then for the DMR, that was really hard because our 800 girl fell, Alex. So that was really sad. And then I think I went out way too hard in the DMR because I was trying to catch everyone. And then I just be like, okay, just relax. And then I don't know. I was honestly, if I'm being honest, I was a bit scared going into the final because I was like, oh, I did run 2 hard miles, but I just knew I was like, my coach would not put me in something he knew he wouldn't sacrifice, like he wouldn't put me in a situation where I'd be at a disadvantage. So we just put Normatic boots on the night before the final and just had a good night's sleep and then raced.
Well, once again, it worked out for you. Let's talk about the mile final strategy where you PB'd and placed third. You led the final for the first 1K before Maya Ramsden took over and then really sped it up, leading to her win and then you placing third, barely off of second, right behind Billa Rui. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but anyway, what was going through your head when Maya made that move?
I just was like, okay, just stick with her as long as you can. Um, I was happy. Honestly, I don't really remember the race. I don't think I thought much. I keep thinking, I was like, what was I thinking? The first lap, I was very aware and I heard everyone screaming. I was like, oh my gosh. I started to like get really anxious and then I was like, oh no, like I'm starting to like, but then I don't know what happened. I literally don't know what happened. And then I remember the last 200. But honestly, other than that, I really don't have a good answer.
Yeah, sometimes it genuinely is just a blur. The races are
Yeah.
just blurs looking back at it. What was your decision to lead? Was that premeditated or did it just kind of happen?
It was a little bit talked about with my coach, but it kind of just happened, I think. I was pretty aware that I thought a lot of people thought I would probably take it out because I took the heat out. But then I was like, you never know. I also thought there'd be some other people. I didn't know. I wondered if Maya would or anything. I didn't know, but it just kind of worked out to be that way.
Yeah. Well, finally, my last question about this race. I don't want to spend the whole time talking about this race, which we genuinely could do because so many questions. But um, what what was it like getting third place in this final? Obviously, I saw the post on Instagram, and I've never seen an individual look so happy in my entire life. That smile you had on your Instagram. So, what was it like getting third in this final? And then, like, how does that motivate you going into this outdoor season, which for you starts tomorrow?
Yeah, I was so happy. I had my whole we live in Providence, so it's only like 50 minutes away. So I had everyone there, which was so cool. So my roommates were there and they were right at the finish line. So it was definitely emotional because I was just so happy because I've always dreamed of like making indoors. Last year I would have never thought I could even make indoors. So I think just at the finish line, I kind of felt just a bit emotional because it's also a lot. It's like stressful. Like the past 3 months have been pretty stressful with everything. So I think for it to just all to come together, I was just so grateful.
Yeah, a lot of people like take these opportunities for granted and like for example, like I had a bad day at nationals for those who don't know and people are always like, "Oh, like you'll get it next time. You'll get him next time." But it's one of those things like you just said where you can't take these moments for granted and you never really know if there's going to be a next time. So every time you're in the moment, you really just have to like take advantage of it and so proud of you for doing so. So, kind of moving off of this, what are your goals for the rest of this outdoor season?
I think I just want to keep improving, get stronger. Um, I don't know. Honestly, I haven't really talked to my coach. Like we had spring break and then we're kind of going to rally. I feel like we haven't normally we'll have like a discussion. So I'll have that soon with him. But I think I just want to keep improving and racing and just having fun with it.
Cool. Do you have a time goal in the 1500 that you're chasing or not? Are you not really like a times oriented
No,
person?
I just think just run every race. I feel like I never try to put a time on it. I think it's once that gets involved, I just think I won't enjoy it. Like I enjoy racing, so I think that's just the most just try race and I feel like a time will come with that.
Exactly. Yeah, I think such a big theme is like some people are motivated in extremely different ways and I'm kind of the same way where I don't like to think about specific times because it just stresses me out. I don't
Yeah.
know, but yeah, it's more fun to run loose and like just to have fun with it like you said earlier, but being from New Zealand, does training or racing schedules change for New Zealand championships and maybe Olympics or is kind of NCAA is the only thing that's on your mind at the moment?
Yeah, it's something I never even thought could be in the picture, so it's like on my mind, but I think NCAA, I'm in the NCAA system, so I want to take full advantage of that. It is hard from New Zealand. New Zealand Nationals was last weekend, so I couldn't go to that. So I don't know. I'm just gonna see. Um, I haven't really, I don't know what my plan. I'm running the NCAA system, and then we'll just see what comes after that.
Yeah. So are the New Zealand championships, do you know when those are happening? Like, are those after NCAAs or is that like in the middle of the season?
So, because it's summer and like New Zealand, it's like different seasons. So, like, we just had our outdoor nationals last weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really random.
Huh.
So, like, you can go back. Like, obviously, that gives you a lot of points. But if you're in America, it just doesn't really work with timing of any races. So, it's a bit tricky.
Yeah. Especially when you're going to rally, like
Yeah,
you said, you're traveling there tomorrow. So
it
yeah.
doesn't really work out.
Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time here, but I have a couple more questions I want to get into. A lot of people have been like reaching out to me like about troubles they've been having in their career or like someone going through a hardship, whether it's like an injury or something little like that. But what advice would you give to people that are like either training through an injury or like going through something in their career?
I think just it's so hard. Like I fell over. It's so silly, but I fell over a fire hydrant my sophomore year, right before. Like it was 2 days before my cross country race, and I had stayed. I didn't go home for the summer, so I stayed. I didn't get to see my family. I chose to stay here because I was like, I want to get good. I want to get fit, like for cross country. And then I fell over a fire hydrant, and it bruised my. I got a bone bruise. So then I couldn't run. It hurt so bad. But at the moment, it was like the most frustrating thing because I was like, it was an accident. Like I fell over a fire hydrant. Like it was so annoying. But I think you just have to. I think my main thing is just be smart. Like try to do everything right. Like as hard as it is, like I think you just have to let your body heal fully before you go do something silly because then it's just going to affect you in the long run. But my biggest advice would just be having your friends around, especially in the sport. I think it's so hard with injuries. Like I know a lot of my teammates have struggled, and I think just coming together is the most important, like to not be alone and just have each other.
I think that's a great piece of advice. I think a good summary of that would just be like to have a great support system.
Yeah.
And it seems like you've been out doing a great job of that as you've been continuing to improve. But this last question is kind of fun. I like to ask everybody this because some people have really different answers than other people. I'll give you an example. So I jump rope quite often. It's this weird thing that I believe in because I think it like simulates turnover and it makes you really quick. So that's like my secret. That's like something I do in training that nobody else really does. Is there anything that you can think of, even if it's like maybe not training, maybe it's like lifestyle that you do that nobody else does that you think kind of helps you perform well as an athlete?
The only thing I can think of that I do that nobody, well, my team does, I don't wear a running watch ever.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I think they're silly. Well, I don't think they're silly. I just think, just go off your body. If my body's telling me I'm running slow, like I just listen to my body. I don't need a pace to tell me. It gets a little bit hard when I'm running by myself and I just go off minutes, but I don't know. It's just fun. Honestly, it just started with I lost my running watch, and then it's just stuck with me, and I haven't had it for like 3 years.
So you lost your watch, then you realized, oh, I kind of like this better, training without a watch.
I'm not sure if my teammates like it because if I'm pacing, I have no idea what we're running. We're just gonna run, so I'm not sure.
That's awesome. So like, when you train every week, do you go by minutes instead of by mileage?
No, we go by mileage. It's just I run with my team every day, so they all have their watches, so I just go off. So I know, and we have like every loop distance, so I know what loop is. I just don't know what pace we're running.
Yeah. If I can be quite honest, I'm the exact same way, and my reasoning's different than yours. I just always forget to charge it, so my watch is just always dead. So yeah, I forget it literally half the time too. But thanks so much, Kimberley, for coming on. That's all I have for you. But this should be up in the next like week or so. But thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.